Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we are going back to the stompers themselves, the big dumb dinos, the big goofy doofy boys. I'm still sick. I'm coming out of it pretty soon, but as you can tell, my voice and my nasal stuff is still like compressed, so I'm kind of struggling to talk. Sometimes I forget what I'm even talking about because I've just been going through it. But we're gonna play this. It's a little bit simpler. It's an all-in type of strategy with fight rigging at the helm. Outside of that, I hope you all enjoy, and if you do, please be sure to subscribe. I truly appreciate it, and let's just get out there and game. Opponent goes first. I can't be maybe too upset about this hand. It kind of does what we want, yeah, to an extent. Like everything in our hands 3 mana, kind of. I mean, that makes it a lot easier that we know that they're not going to be all out aggro. We're not getting mono red checked right now, so. Ooh, it's Golgari though. Ooh, no answer for that. That's kind of wild. Lissa? Glimpse the core. Okay, big Golgari, I guess. Be a lot of things, but let's get the Raptor down. X command would be devastating. Okay, could have been worse. Now we'll make our 2 mana here. We'll play Besage. We'll throw in the Carnosaur. Cascade into something hopefully relevant. Fight rigging is fantastic. So weird thing about fight rigging that I don't see a lot of people do. If last time at the beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, and then if you control a creature with power 7 or greater, you may play it. So I control a creature with power 7 or greater, so I'm going to actually put the counter on here because it can actually attack this turn. That'll enter and fire off the aggro. Get Gishath to trigger and only put 1 creature in play. I mean, of all the Gishath triggers, I feel like that one's the most tame. Do you have a white source plus other path to peril? Opponent, only if you knew how much I love Golgari. I mean, we just need like a decent sized dino. Now I don't feel super pressed on these doing damage to me. Play a Lord Keeper. We'll pass. Oh, it's just guy. That's not good. Or maybe it's good. I feel like it's not good. I have a sneaky suspicion that it's really bad. Combat. No attacks. It's a bait. Play this, take a little more damage. We'll pass. Control is by far our worst matchup. It's weird as that sounds because we're not like a super aggressive deck. We actually bully the other creature decks. Well, this is the Convoke game plan. Okay. Play this, and we have to hope it lives, I guess. There's a 5/5 that generates a lot of value, but they do have bounce spells. Do play big removal spells. Here, there's the bounce spell. Not quite going to be enough unless they have a burn spell for the invasion. Wandering Mind's so cool. Another Fading Hope. No. Take it back. I don't like that at all, actually. Well. Okay, game. Listen, I understand you want me to lose, but you can cool off on that at any point. Yeah. I like that. I like those odds. I like those odds. I like tramplers, first strikers, big, beefy boys. It's like, sure, you flip this and you get a 3/3, and now your spells have like Convoke, but you really do have to kind of deal with the board. Let's see. You have a way? Oh, that's a way, I guess. That is indeed a way. Red, 1, 2, 3. So we're short. Ooh, they have something. I mean, it's our only play. Another one of these. I don't know what they have, but here. You have to take this out of all things, because that's what gives all their spells convoke. Of course, they have a 7/7, but I'm not that worried about it comparatively. Doing this, puts you down pretty far. Even if they attack with this, it doesn't quite get to do anything. Like, it's never really an efficient attacker, because it will get the whatever, it'll get a stun counter. I couldn't think of what it was. That's pretty good. You can attack it, but then they concede, because like now even if you attack it, I still have a 13/13 that you have to kind of try to defend against. On one hand, this is like a fine keep because fight rigging is so good. On the other hand, I have 2 cards in my hand that I cannot play anytime soon, so we're probably going to have to maul this, find a much more reasonable hand in which we can keep, and then Galt is going to have to go to the bottom. This is 3 mana. This is kind of 3 mana, and this will not be as expensive, of course. Now it's just survive, hopefully. But here's the only problem: being on the draw against mono red never generally pans out well. Dokazan, I guess, because technically we can besage you something if needed. Technically, maybe like a foundry or like an aura that's attached to something. Not sure that they would play one, but sometimes people play the rabid battery or things like that. Kimono is like an option as well, which I probably just have to besage you the kimono regardless, because it putting a counter on a creature next turn and then flipping allows it to go wider and just will be way harder for us to deal with. I think if creatures are the board state, I think we're good. Sure, don't have a whole lot for that. Taking 5. Now, I'm pretty sure I just have to besage you this kimono, especially if they scry and keep on top. And I'll shuffle it away. To the bottom. Sucks. Let that go. Feel like this is I have to play, not necessarily that I want to play it. We're just under threat the whole time here. Do this. We need Dino. We play Hammer Skull. Do we need repeated removal? I know this can remove 1 creature, but we need to be able to block and then remove something later. This is Squeeze tough. I have 2, so Squeeze has to be our block. On the 4, it's just not going to be enough. Just not going to be enough. How much is this to activate? I don't even have 2 green, but if I do get it, double creature's power until end of turn. That's tough because I just don't think we'll get there. We'll play another Hammer Skull. Nope. Tough day in the office for sure. I mean, pretty much any spell, monsters, raids, etc. gets there. We make our blocks that we can. No fire, lightning strike. Yeah. Not a whole lot we can do. It's like one of the matchups where not having an early mana dork leading into this, like, the game changes pretty drastically, I think, if on turn 1 we play a 1-drop and then play this on turn 2. Because their attacks significantly become worse, and then they can't really do anything, and then we play a second one of these on turn 3, and now their creature attacks do absolutely nothing. But because we were too slow, we just ended up getting ran over by red, which we shouldn't, in theory, with the deck that we're playing. It happens. Why are my hands so awkward? Getting these like real clunky ones. Where it's either like no mana dorks and like all the big stuff, or mana dorks and nothing to do with it. So we have to maul again. No green mana. I guess we keep 5. Carnosaur. All day. Hey, red. We have any land or any mana creature would do the trick technically. Oh. No way. I hope your hand's better than mine, opponent. I'm starting to think these decks suck. Like, could you imagine both Dino players? I mulled a 5, I have a 2-lander. They kept 7, they only have a 2-lander. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, don't worry, I ain't casting nothing on your turn. You don't have to worry about me, big dog. I'm really hoping to just play the old fight ring and throttle. Oh no, go one more card down. What are you doing on the very top? Come on now. Oh, this is just so much worse. It's so much worse. I mean, I think I'm gonna just take a re-wheel. We have so many good, yeah, I would say we have so many good cards. No attacks? Don't have a creature big enough to play like the chomp to remove this hammer skull. Even if they play their own hammer skull and then chomp it, it's still not big enough because our fight rings have grown us out of size. That's good. Don't you dare have 2 chomp. Well, that can't be used for a chomp. No. You have a second red? No? I'll take that damage. Okay, team. Yep. I think we can one-shot him. 7, 14, 7? Yeah. Do this. Next. Here. And here. Here. I want to do this one. I don't know what this could be, but just in case, I really just wanted to attack with Gishath and just look at the top 14 and put every single creature into play from there. It's really what I wanted. So it does kind of suck that I one-shot him from there. But like, also, am I really upset about one-shotting him from what our starting hand was? No. Opponent goes first. Shocker, and that's only happened like every game so far. But we actually have a playable hand, which is probably even more surprising. I feel like I've mulliganed so much. One game in which you guys won't see, I mauled to 5 again. But against mono red, so I died. I know, big surprise. Mauling to 5 against mono red. The only thing I did in that matchup was play the enchantment and lost the game. I understand my mana dork's important, but Not that important. That's just, I'll take that all day. Now we have this that we don't even technically have to keep in play. The other reason I traded off is because if I play Hammer Skull here and they play a Brutal Cathar, didn't really do a whole lot. I kind of assumed this is the situation we'd find ourselves in, so now I'm just going to play my 6/6. But if they were willing to fire off one for that, I feel like they have a second one. It's the green-white humans list that Covert's been playing. Don't you get lost, my creature, I swear. Adeline, okay. Okay, I mean, that makes sense. No. And they can give Adeline protection from green and attack with it, I guess. Don't worry, I'm slowly going to die to an Adeline before I get to play Natali. Yep. We have to get this out of the way, though. It's not real. I didn't even think there were this many lands in the deck, to be honest with you. It's getting worse. They're flooding too, which is the saddest part of the game. So sad. However, does this have a color? Do these have color? I never remember. It's red and green. Brutal. Yeah. Because lands are technically colorless, unless when you turn them into a creature, they get a color type. You want to attack with Brutal Cathar? Why not? Yes. Uh-huh. One. Yep. I am in trouble. You are correct. Why did you play Thalia now? Why would you not have played it? Huh. Another green creature. Oh, I get to play Natali next turn. I'm not dead. Now I have an extra creature to kind of block. I might be dead, so it might not matter. The Brutal Cathar is going to flip when I play this Natali. Yeah, that's not good. Unless I can hit a Gish Shaft, then it won't matter. Or I'll hit 12/12 and it won't matter there though, because then it'll put no creatures from my hand into play, which is kind of funny to think about. For one, huh? Interesting. Oh, and you hit twice? Okay, my bad. I didn't mean it. Good on you, sir. Also, you didn't pay attention to your mana because you couldn't bring up the Foundry. I guess you could bring up the Foundry if you wanted to. But we lose out in a little bit here. Sure. You have to target that. I can't believe I drew another land. What did I say? I would draw this one because it won't do anything. They just give this protection from... Guess it can't, right? I mean, I technically have reasons to stay, so I will. And if I can... I should be able to survive, I don't think. Now I definitely don't have a way to survive. They can pump out twice. They give anything. Wait, yeah. Any two things hit, I die. They have 6 creatures. Technically, if they give out protection or something, then I can survive in theory, but not really. What goes first? Can I go first once? Thoughts? recruitment officer. We'll play a bit aggressive early here. Because we take 1 damage here, but we play second forest into hammer skull. We actually use the green from the lore keeper, so we actually won't take any damage at all when we play hammer skull. The only real issue will be when if they play a brutal cathar. See, I like trading this a lot of times, but this one time I'm not going to, because of the massive upside that we get when we do this. And they can brutal cathar me, and that would suck, but I think the upside's way too high. The next turn we have a 5-3. Yeah, no surprise there. If you were surprised that the mono white player was going to curve out perfectly, I don't know what Magic the Gathering format you've been playing. Let's play this one. It has wards, so they can't do it again, but this is the time for an Adeline. Maybe. You don't have everything? You sure? Oh, no, you just have the Lord. Sure. So now if I block at all, I lose it all. Sick. If this is your only attack, you're afraid. And that's fine. You're allowed to be afraid. I just don't see why you wouldn't attack with the recruitment officer. You know what I'm saying? Because if you were willing to trade the recruitment officer off for the lore keeper, you should be more than willing to trade it off for the raptor. But what do I know? Absolutely nothing. So we'll play a fight rigging, which does nothing actually. I thought it did something. It does absolutely nothing. I guess we put the counter here, which is like awkward, but I'm gonna play a second fight rigging next turn and then put both counters on my raptor. I just want this to be somewhat threatening to trade off the other creatures so they feel obligated not to attack with them. Same scenario where they like only attacked with a Thalia. I'm kind of hoping to replicate that here, which they shouldn't. They should threaten lethal and get my creatures off the board, in my opinion, but I don't know nothing. Activate here. They find second brutal cathar, so now I think they might play more patiently. Once again, if Thalia is the only attacker, we'll take it. To go for the trade this time. Maybe realizing last time might have been a mistake. This time, however, because we have 4 mana regardless, we'll do this. Both of us are creature decks mainly. So now we come to play second fight rigging. I see that one as agreeable. What is happening to this card? He looks sick. He looks sick for sure. I don't know what happened to him. But yeah, so we'll keep here. This is the one that's first to resolve. We actually want that to happen second because we want Tully to happen second, I think. Yeah. Because only one of these are going to happen, so this comes in and all these can go in. Yeah, I like that. I like that plan. Brutal. This thing will flip. Brutal Cathar will flip, and they'll exile some stuff again. And then they'll play another Brutal Cathar, exile some stuff again. But my Raptor will be big enough to kind of block. I have to take the Dracosaur in my 12-12 because, like, what else are you taking? Now, if they attack with that Brutal Cathar and I, like, kill it off, it's devastating. I don't have a Dino anywhere. Alright. So, like, activating this doesn't really do a ton for me. It hit another land. That's kind of crazy. They really should play Brutal Cathar. Well, no, because the Dracosaur will get me back in. I understand, like, wanting to get rid of the Raptor because it's what's producing me extra mana. I haven't hit a land drop. Plus, it's over that threshold that Fight Ring needs, but it doesn't really matter because Dracosaur will also get there because I have 2 copies in play. Brutal Cathar comes in. What are you taking? Take my flyer. The one that draws 3. I would agree with that decision, I think. Vanguard. Okay. A long time on that decision, and I'm not entirely sure why. Cast 2 spells, so it'll stay daytime. Is fine. No attacks from our opponent. Okay. Oh, that's a big boy. We will 3 1 2. I tap it from there. I have 1 2 3. Yeah, so we want to tap this and use this mana, because now we can actually bring this man land up with this and my current lands. So fight rings go off. If I control a creature with power 7 or more, we're good. And they have a Thalia, so 1 mana will be nothing. We're gonna make this a little bit bigger. Honestly, we should just make that bigger in general. I will play my thick Katali. Knight, which will trigger, and then my deck will shuffle. Here's another one. Here's another one. Yeah, I like to put this Gishath in my hand. Thank you. Down to the bottom we go. I am now kind of on the plan that I want to attack and threaten some stuff. They have 5 creatures. They have 1 card in the hand. I bring this up. This is tapped. I attack. This will untap. Untap. Or it stays on tap. Stays on tap. Yeah. So should be fine to do so. Attack and attack. That's +2, whatever. Now it's untapped. It is a 9/5. I still have... I have 4 blockers back, but it's kind of the risk. We got to kind of get there at some point. Maybe they'll block, and if they block, then we're feeling pretty good. I mean, Thalia can block there, yeah, I guess. Didn't really think of that one, but okay. Well, I have 5. This doesn't tap, duh. I was like, I thought I had 5 blockers. What happened? I still have 5 blockers. One of my creatures has trample. Let's go for the glory. I'm gonna just do the Atali just because it makes the most sense. Let's put counters everywhere, maybe. Or it's on the Trampler himself. I guess there's like no reason to put him everywhere. Just put him on the Trampler. We'll keep the one that can attack. Okay, that makes sense. So sick of those planes being in the deck. And I'm also sick of going second every game. Please. We'll keep here. That'll go. Green means we'll lead off with this into this. Play Forest. Play the Hammer Skull. Then just ride and progress from there. Green white, that tells me it's probably enchantments. Ossification is possible. Maybe they'll do it now to enter these plays, but also you can just put this under. But there is a glimpse. Tells me otherwise. Let's play Hammer Skull. They don't do anything because Hammer Skull is like kind of a prime target to get removed in these matchups. I'm going to attack with it. Now I don't feel like it's enchantments. Is it the gain life deck? Or it's just big green white? I have no idea anymore. Could be domain. But they're just, or Bant. It's just been a really weird game so far. Or they're my hero. What are they doing? I'm so confused now. Ridgeline. Combat. Getting in. I know this is getting a sun counter, but I'm trying to put pressure on. If they want to play land and Sunfall, I'd rather have done 6 damage instead of done nothing with it. What's this do? If I'm... Okay. There's a red source, finally. I want to feel like it's domain, but they haven't given me any confirmation of what it is. And I don't want to walk into a Sunfall, but I feel like I have to. So we have to play the Dracosaur because it's the most mana efficient right now. And Raptor can be played post board wipe, where I have to draw a land to play the Dracosaur. You stop playing to gain lifelines? Played 3 of these now. Stop it. Knock it off. I have no idea what our opponent's playing. Playing big mana stuff, though. Do you know that? It's like one of the downsides of playing this deck and it being like a slower deck like I've talked about in the past, where it's just like, sometimes we just don't do anything. Very, very evident with kind of what's happening right now. We do have a Dino now. I can activate this and just like kind of really get in there. First possible. I think I just have to go for some kind of attack here. Combat. Nothing. I just assumed they had something. They just did nothing. Well, I mean, it's kind of what we want, right? We just need like a Dino for fight riggings. If not, this is going to be the strongest creature of all time. This is sorcery speed, so we don't have to leave up a red mana turn 1. Forest, play the Paleontologist, who will probably chomp whatever they play after this, if it's possible at all. Well, hear me out. If I play fight rigging and I just keep on playing fight riggings, eventually, right? Eventually, it'll all work out. Oh my, they're not coming for a very long time. We'll take that, I guess. I mean, I guess we just attack, right? Now we'll play land. We'll play another fight rigging, unless we draw a Dino, which would be sweet, because then I can play something that has a little bit of substance on the board. Oh, speaking of the creature, literally the one I was kind of hoping to draw, awkwardly enough. One that has ward that makes it pretty awkward for them to remove. We're going to put it on there, develop this, and then no attacks. We'll hold the line. And now next turn, this will make a mana. We'll play fight rigging, and then we'll shoot the Thalia if they have nothing to protect it. So whatever, because we'll have to pay 1 no matter what. I know this says cast it for free, but the Thalia tax actually applies, whether you knew that or not. So here, this happens. We'll spend 2 mana to get Thalia off the board, like we said. Now, fight rigging's even 1 cheaper. Play it. We'll look. We'll go get Natali, as cool as Dracosaur is. We'll play old Copperline Gorge. And then these will both trigger. And because this will have 7 power on both, it will cast both these spells. Natali first. Yeah. I'll take both those. Thank you. None of those, because I can't do anything with that. I'll take that, because that seems sick. And then, you know, honestly, I'll just throw them both at you. Man. Boros, legendary humans, struggling. Don't worry, I have a 3rd fight rigging available. Ah, yes. Brutal Cathar. I mean, they technically survive. What an alpha attack, by the way. I will show them the spell. Go first. I feel betrayed. I don't remember the last time I've gone first. Did I just go first? I have no idea. You can't stop me. We'll play land, the tapped one, and then we'll play the Paleontologist. Kind of hope it survives. Doesn't really look optimal for it. I just cut down and go for the throw, and about any white removal spell in 2 mana will remove it. It's Esper. I think we get a little lucky there. We'll play Cavern and throw in on the Dinosaur, and we'll play the Hulking Raptor. The reason to get Hulking Raptor down is the Ward 2 will be relevant unless they have a Void Rend, which then they don't have to pay the ward cost. I don't know if you know how that works. Please don't do it. Please don't be the one deck doing it. It's a joke. Ah, anointed with affliction? Sure. Hit land. Play this. I'm on the boat that I want to establish a fight rigging and make it complicated. Because the amount of value it can get, but also this is really important. Because we have 6 mana. If this hits on, yeah, I'm going to play this. It's so important. Like, it's so complicated to deal with. Like, this has to be answered. If it's not, then, like, the value it produces is insane. Play Shieldred. Ah, get lost. You want to know something funny about Get Lost? Normally would help. But I'm going to do something different. So the funny part about Get Lost and why sometimes it sucks, if we activated a map and got a counter on this, fight rigging would actually become relevant because this would now have 7 power. But instead we're going to slam it at Tolly. Uncounterable, actually. They have make this appear, they can counter whatever Atali hits. You know what happens if we cast a Memory Deluge off of Natali? 0 mana is spent into the spell, and we look at 0 cards and we put it in their graveyard. We actually decline to cast it, so it stays in exile instead of giving them that card later. Hideaway. You let this trigger. I guess we just pick another Atali. I know the snap reaction is to put a counter on Atali and get it. Well, actually, that's not even true. I put a counter on the Raptor. And the reason why is because I still control a creature with power 7 or greater. So it'll still trigger. It doesn't matter which one I keep. But the power would still be greater. Instead of targeting my Atali and giving them a chance to remove my Atali. I think we had the Maul, right? 2 lands and like nothing early and our opponent's on the play. I think we had the Maul. We have better lower to ground hands, and I think this is one of them. I think we just keep the high roll hand. Just hope it works. Burrell. We have to remove this Burrell. I think so. Main issue, in which we will do it the opposite way, is we'll play fight rigging first. Especially now for sure. Well, the way this works out, I won't be able to do either. That's annoying. So I have to worry about ossification. If I play this and then they ossify it, I still fall behind. I guess I fall behind regardless, right? This is the best way to like progress, but also get one of these out. Actually, that's not. I'm not even sure that's true. No, it's not true. I made a mistake. For some reason, I just thought differently. I'm not sure. Tap source. For nuts. Just to play around ossification, of course. We're going to play fight rigging now. Dolly seems great. Why does it break like this? I'm not gonna lie, it kind of looks sick. Like it actually looks dope. But because he's sick. That's his bloodstream. He's mad. The mad lad. Alright, we don't have a basic, by the way. So if we hit an ossification off the top of their deck, it does nothing. Which is kind of funny. But we're going to play this guy. We're going to put a counter on our Hammer Skull. We're going to cast our Sick Atali. Oh, it's a combo deck. Do this, do this. Counter on here. Oh! Truly a combo deck. Oh! Say less. That's a white source. I'm not gonna lie. No, not another white source, please. They didn't play land last turn, so brushland had to be their draw for turn, or vice versa. Attack. Ooh. Honestly, be confident. Attack with it. Attack with your 7/7. Trades everything. If you think about it. Ah. Ow. So afraid. It's so messed up because this does like nothing. Ow. It really does do nothing, huh? Play this. We'll say Dino, I suppose. Put a counter here. Put a counter here, I guess. This shaft. What happens if I bring this up and attack with this? Nothing really. Gives it a +2/0. Sure. Nine. So like maybe it'll hit a dino and it'll work out well. It also has vigilance, so like I'm perfectly fine trying to get it in. Could block with a Kami plus another. That's all you want to block. Fine with that. Ooh, card to help keep up. That seems good. Ooh, Weaver of Harmony. That's a good draw. Really, the only attack they have is this Kami, which is kind of tough. I have their Calyx. Hey, what's up, Geshath? I can't play you regardless, right? But I can play you if I play this land? Yes. So that's what I have to do. Do this. What are the odds that I finally hit the removal spell? That'd be sweet. Another big Dino is pretty good as well. Realistically, let's make you big enough to survive the Kami, I guess. And let's try to close the game over the top. Then an extra counter here. And, oh, that's tough. That is tough draw. The worst part is they have less of a chance to draw the Spirited Companion, and you might be, why is that bad? And that's because of the way the Weavers work. Spirited Companion with 2 Naturalists in play, they would play a Spirited Companion, copy the draw ability twice, and then just get to draw 3 cards. But the problem here is what is happening with this Dracosaur drawing multiple cards is you're just never really going to be able to keep up with it. So, no, we hit Diamond 1. That's going to do it. And let's just hop on into the outro and see what we can do from there. Okay, so I'm re-recording the outro because I felt like my last outro said nothing relevant and I was just talking. But I'm going to bring up something else not relevant. I don't know what happened to my webcam from when I recorded to 20 minutes to now. But we're in dark mode apparently, so yeah, because no setting on my webcam has changed. I don't know. But here we are. So what I like about this deck and the difference from when we played it in the past is we are significantly more all in than we were prior. We weren't playing Gishath. We were playing some of the lower ramp stuff like Topiary Stomper to get more lands out of the deck. We were playing Glimpse of the Core to get more lands out of the deck and trying to really hard cast some of our big stuff whenever necessary. Instead of just saying, you know what, we'll live by fight rigging, we'll die by fight rigging. Sometimes we get caught rigging the matches, sometimes we don't get caught rigging the matches, you know? But the main thing to take away from this is, one, we came away with a winning record. We went 8-4. Now, that sounds like, that's like a mediocre kind of like score, sure. But out of that, we were on the play only 2 games. The rest, we were on the draw. I felt like I was on the draw a lot of times, and I was. I only was on the play for 2 matches today. So out of my 12, 10 of them were on the draw. And we still ended up with a very decent record, which is important to note because obviously if you're going to average on the play, you should win more often than on the draw, like normally, especially whenever you're playing kind of an all-in deck like this. If you're not winning significantly more when you're on the play because your opponent can't answer what you're doing, because how much harder is it for a deck if I turn 1 Lore Keeper, turn 2 this, and on my turn 3 play a Fight Ringing, and if my opponent played land plus tap land and can't answer this, this is going to trigger. And if I hit any top end one of these spells, like how do you recover for 3 mana on the next turn? If I hit Natalia, I cast one of your spells, one of my spells. If I hit the Carnosaur, as we saw in the very first game, I hit something else that's really good, like a Fight Ring, and then it did a bunch of shenanigans. And or if I hit like a Gift Shaft, like what do you do on that? So that is kind of what we do in this deck on the play. We were able to actually accomplish the same thing on the draw when our opponent was playing a slightly slower deck. The only decks we really struggled against, and this is again another issue of being on the draw, is like Mono Red outpaced us because we didn't get to play the Hammer Skull early. Now in that matchup, like I stated at the end, I think we might actually come out victorious if we did have a Lore Keeper or even a Chomp to kind of slow them down a little bit, just so we can establish this creature, because they can never really attack through it. The only thing it generally gets us for them is a creature with 3 power already. That could be a Swiss Spear is misleading because it only needs 2 power because Prowess will go up, and then the 1 Monstrous Rage can make it all the way up to a 6/4, but it still gets traded off and our creature did what it needed to. But anything with less than that, this gets to freely block it. We don't have to care, and it's so much power swinging back at them that in 1 turn we can close out the game. Outside of that, we have like the really nice 5/5 First Striker. We have a Ward 2 creature that's pretty hard to deal with. We have the Carnosaur that can burn stuff. We have a Tali that can do what it does. We didn't really do the Ghalta this one. We didn't really do anything with this. It's like good, obviously. It is a 12/12 and it's kind of cheap, so it's like pretty nice. And playing it uncounterable with a Cavern and stuff is great. Skullborn Nexus, we did play it 1 game, but it won the game. But I'm not convinced if Gift Shaft hit for 7 that the game wasn't over already, because we were swinging a 9/9 and a 7/6. Like, they're getting hit for 16, and I'm going to look at the top cards and do all the things I want, but it did technically win the game, so who knows. And then it's kind of same with Ghalta. It won a game for us as well, so definitely worth, like, our high-end cards are definitely worth it, and playing these one-ofs are, because, like, again, we just won them under Fight Rigging. But outside of that, that's kind of all I have. I definitely wanted to bring up the play-draw situation, because I did feel like I was on the draw a lot, and it turns out I actually was, so glad to see that me complaining didn't cause any problems. So to give my webcam a break, I'm going to end it now, because apparently it's struggling to stay alive, so that's sick. And I'll catch y'all later. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed making them, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.